Please know the views and opinions.
Yep. Okay, we're on. I'll say hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the God Talk with
Guys and gals.
guys and gals. Michael Mack is in New York with his getting ready for his wonderful play, which is opening the week of September 17th. Conversation with my molester, and we're honored to try to not take his place, but to be inspired by him.
Yeah.
So
He's a very, very, very dedicated guy.
So we're now going to have a challenge. My dear beloved mother was on the show many years ago. We have a show called, you can check it on YouTube, Growing Older Laughing, I think it's called. And we had a show together. She was talking about
I'll
old
have to,
age.
is it on YouTube?
Yep.
Okay.
Just Google Evelyn Koran, K-O-R-N, and
Okay.
you should get it. Or maybe we'll watch it together.
Okay.
But Susan has been teaching me that any poem, the good, the bad, and the ugly, can be sung, right? We can sing
Yeah.
anything.
Well, our last show we did rap. We just,
We did many things.
Did
Now,
many.
this is a poem I wrote about what I did when my mother died. And I heard of it. This happened 15 years ago. Time is funny.
can I see it again?
Yeah.
There's just a little bit of, I don't know whether to get the title.
You can leave the title. Oh, I see. We can forget.
Yeah.
We can tell them the title.
Okay. I will cause breath to enter bones, Ezekiel. Hitting me repeatedly made painful ecstasy. Numb in mind and body, I break glass when you're gone. Imagine breaking bones, moving us to scream, moan, sensing through marrow, freeze you to breeze, me to breathe.
Still makes me cry, which is, I guess, a good sign.
Yeah.
Does it make any sense?
Yes.
I'm going to read it once, too, if I may.
Please do.
Hi, Mom. Love you, finally. Finally can love you and not be afraid, I hope. I did what was called a forgiveness bypass with my mother. I forgave her. Maybe I'll tell a little story about how.
Please.
Okay, so my dear beloved mother, Evelyn Koran, I hope she's listening, in a good place, I'm sure in a good place. And so I stopped talking to her for 4 years. I just called her up and told her, I'm not going to talk to you for 4 years. I needed to. She was just too much in my life. You'll hear a little bit more about her when we get back together, when I tell you we get back together, of why I had to not talk to her. And I did it like the Egyptian army fought the Israelis, always by rules. Okay, in 4 years I will talk, don't worry. And just before the 4 years were up, and I met my wife-to-be during those 4 years, with my mother far away. My dear, beloved Rabbi Foifer Khan, my beloved first and only wife. And we talk once a year. Get my karma. She only won't talk to me once a year. I'm so lucky though. We'll do that.
Once a year is good.
Yes, I'm so lucky on my birthday. I count them once. And I actually met someone with her birthday. And we became very good friends because it was the same birthday as Robbie,
Oh,
my friend Tracy, and I would call Tracy only once a year on Tracy's birthday to remember. Tracy did not like that, and Tracy is such a giving person. You'll meet her one day, Tracy Marks, that she just would help me with. She would just be helpful, help me with computers, help me with my writing. She's just a gold mine of, some people are just like you, just give. Some people are takers and some people are givers. So giving to Tracy is like an investment. you too, actually. And we get back 100-fold.
thank you, Michael.
It's true. It just happened. So Tracy didn't like that I only called her once a year, and she eventually, so we get together lots now.
Oh, good.
And instead, and it switched, so I have to remember, it used to be that my beloved first wife, Robbie's birthday reminded me to call Tracy, and now Tracy's birthday is more primary, and it reminds me that it's my wife's birthday too.
Oh, that's good. Things transform, don't they?
So after almost 4 years are up, my father calls me and says, your mom just had a heart attack. Please call her. And so I didn't quite make it for 4 years because I did call her. And then I invited my mother back into my life, and she came to Cambridge to stay for the summer. And the first day here, she starts talking to me as she always did. Yelling at me, I'm not sure I like this apartment you got for me. It's a little dirty. Look how dirty it is in the corner. Why would? And I say to her, Mom, would you please talk to me more kindly? And she says, you're Hitler. You're trying to control how I talk. You're Hitler. That's who you are. You know who you are? You're Hitler.
Wow. Traumatizing.
So, and I grew up with this, with hitting too. I got grown up. She didn't hit me anymore. So
that's the background of this poem.
And I walk out and say, Mom, think it over. I think we should talk more kindly to each other. No yelling back or anything, because my mother loved bringing us all down to the hell she was living in. And the following morning, I come, dutiful son as I am, and to see how she slept for the first night. And she says to me, because she knows that I might not talk to her for 4 years or more again. If she didn't know that, she would at all mind just bringing me down to her hell.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't want to be there alone. And she apparently made a decision. She was going to be here this summer. She's living at Mopsy Strange Kennedy's home, who rented us to us for the summer. And she says, I think we should talk to each other more kindly.
Wow. Talk about planting a seed.
And I could
And
see
having
her
it
for the
grow.
rest of her life, often holding her tongue, literally, knowing. And she was so knowing that, if she was her old self, she might lose her son again. Who is it?
Mm-hmm.
Who would learn for some reason to be a caring person, because I wasn't. I said I have to be. I want to be the kind of person I'm not. And so didn't quite know that I was doing that. And so then she became the most devoted mother anyone around here has ever seen.
Oh my God, why didn't you think of that when you were little?
She was, well, when I was little, I was.
Yeah.
And because she was so grateful, and the family was too, that someone had got her to shut
Finally.
up. Yes, and be nice. And she was devoted for the rest of her life. Once, when she was leaving to go back to Sarasota, she said, here's $5,000 to redo your kitchen. Because I had no bathroom, I had no sink in the bathroom either at the time. And I didn't want to, I'm a guy, I don't need to do my kitchen or need a sink in my bathroom. And I told her, I don't really need that. And she wrote me and said, or called me and said, I don't want to control you. Use the $5,000 however you want, which is very nice.
Wow.
And she was very sick about money. The next year when she came, she said, I want you to redo your kitchen, and this time I'll only give you the money if you do it. And I said, fine. And so I thought I had forgiven her. Because you're supposed to be forgiving, right?
Yeah.
Supposed to be forgiving. And
Well, supposed is an interesting
yes,
word.
so I wanted to be a good person because I wasn't. So I wanted to be a forgiving person. Jesus said, forgive them for they know not what they do.
Yes.
My mother knew what she was doing and obviously could be changed. So I let her back into my life, made one huge mistake as far as forgiving me, even in the level I was, which was I let her interact with my girlfriends and my wife, Robbie, who didn't like her at all for good reason, but I was hurt that Robbie didn't like my mother. And my mother got in the way of my relationships, managed to, one way or another, get me to love only her, which she always did.
Well, she actually, from what it sounds like, she actually got in the way of you relating to yourself as well.
Yes.
With peace and
Right, because I
harmony.
thought I forgave her, but after she died, I discovered there was way more hate than I knew.
Ah, rage.
And hatred, murderous rage, yes. And it took me many, many years to work through that. Living in the apartment she helped me, the condo she helped me buy, and the kitchen she helped fix up. And now that I think it's out, although my dear friend Elizabeth Grey Wolf doesn't.
Well, if it helps at all, I want to diverge. I had rage as well, and I didn't know. I could tell you how you felt. I could feel how you felt, but I couldn't feel how I felt. I couldn't admit to my feelings, and I had a tremendous amount of rage for both my parents who neglected. You know, they gave us things, but they neglected us in order to give us things. I think it's a story that probably a lot of post-war children, we want you to have everything we never had kind of thing. And so we were latchkey children. So anyway, but just to let you know that I had so much rage stored inside of me that I lived in Oklahoma City at the time. And I went out to one of the fields, you know, it's prairie there, and I picked up a dead piece of wood, and I went over to a log, a huge tree log, and I took that piece of wood. It was, you know, I could handle it, and I let my rage out, and it was homicidal rage. I mean, that was my father, that was my mother, and I did it until I was exhausted. And I went back again, and I went back again until I was rid of it.
Huh?
And my body had to feel through that.
Yeah.
It had to, it's almost like my dear friend Angela Liker, who was my counselor at the time, she said everything has to balance out. So she said if you have this stored energy locked inside of you, she said, it's going to come out some way. And so she made me sit with my feelings and made me very aware of my feelings. So I understand that kind of rage.
So I am grateful for growing older, and we didn't have this, and no one knew this when we grew up, really. This is wisdom that many, many healers have put together. So we had the same experience.
Yep.
Now, back to shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try this once. This is from Ezekiel, who is very negative, just like my mother. Yeah, this is one of the few nice things he had to say in his prophecy. Everybody is bad, and his God is a punishing God. But his God, he says, I will cause breath to enter bones. And in Ezekiel, dead bones start dancing. hitting me repeatedly made painful ecstasy. Numb in body and mind. I break glass when you're gone. Imagine breaking bones, moving us to scream, moan, sensing through marrow, freeze, you to breathe, me to breathe. That felt like it got to the place of our singing, yes?
Yeah.
Now, Susan was going to turn this into, with me, a song in 9 minutes,
Really?
11 minutes.
Okay, so we're going to take this. So there's lots of what I call percussive beats hitting me repeatedly. So there's tremendous value in those beats. And then it comes back to made painful ecstasy, hitting me repeatedly. So it's hitting me repeatedly, made painful ecstasy.
Oh, and you can exaggerate a bit, I see. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
I'm learning each time.
Hitting me
Repeatedly. Oh, you can exaggerate. Made painful ecstasy.
Numb in mind
Mind.
and body. And that starts kind of low. I break glass when you're gone. Yeah, that's very when you're gone. So that
Wow.
might even be the same, almost the same tone. Imagine
Imagine
breaking
breaking bones.
moving us to scream.
That went up. Yes?
Yes.
And then down.
Moan. And we could go moan.
Oh, yeah, all kinds of possibilities. It's not like one way, right? Sensing through marrow. Freeze. You to breathe. Me.
And then I would break me to breathe.
Oh, there's many possibilities, not just one. You could do it many different ways.
Yeah.
And now Susan, without any practice, is game enough to put her singing career on the line.
No, it's been on the line before.
People
Many times.
But again, on the line. All of Cambridge is watching now. I'm sure you've all called your friends or called their friends.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me see how I'll approach this. Because it's quite long.
Yeah, unlike the other ones, yeah.
hitting me repeatedly, made painful ecstasy, numb in mind and body. I break glass when you're gone. Imagine breaking bones, moving us to scream, moan, sensing through marrow, freeze you to breathe me to breathe.
This is doing it cold. Brave. I'm going to try now, inspired by you, may I?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm going to
You're going to take it,
this.
and then I'm going to put this one
Yes, if
in
we
its
could.
place.
Yes. Wow, you're making me look forward to it. And one of our mottos, if you have watched this show, know anything worth doing is worth doing badly. I'm referring to what I'm going to do, not Susan's. All right, she wants us to see this. We can compromise.
No, we don't have to.
Oh, they
No,
can.
we don't have to. We
They've
can.
heard this. They've read it enough. Let them see us.
Okay.
I will cause breath to enter bones. Ezekiel. Hitting me repeatedly, made painful ecstasy, numb in mind and body. I break glass when you're gone. Imagine breaking bones, moving us to scream, moan, sensing through marrow freeze. I'll do that again. Sensing through marrow freeze, you to breathe, me to breathe. That was very helpful doing it, not good, because I didn't pay, I got too carried away and didn't follow the marks.
The marks.
And that
yeah.
really revealed, that was how it should not be done. And
But that's good.
that was very
I mean, you have to have a starting place. Mine wasn't
so-
good either.
Well, some of it was moved me though. And we could, if we're brave, watch this sometimes.
What?
Tanya, we have a great, never mind, I'm not going to say anything. She doesn't want to. Okay, so we have,
Let's do it again. Do it again.
yes?
Do it again.
Okay, I'm going to follow the lines this time. I will cause breath to enter bones, hitting me repeatedly, made painful ecstasy, numb in mind and body. I break glass when you're gone. Imagine breaking bones.
Look at the prosody of
No?
that. Look at the stration. Imagine. Imagine.
Oh, that's what that.
Imagine breaking
bones. You can moving us to scream.
To scream.
Scream. Moan.
Moan?
Moan. See, it's too. It's too hard to follow the lines and pay attention to the meaning.
Okay, got
But
it.
I understand. But I should.
This is what's difficult.
Yeah, I should follow the
prosody.
lines. You know, too bad on the meaning. Sensing through marrow, freeze.
You're doing
No.
freeze,
Oh,
and the sign is
Going up.
your
freeze.
mother's free. She's free to the breeze.
Yeah, sensing through marrow, freeze. Am I doing it wrong? Freeze. No.
Free.
Freeze. Well, look at that voice. You to breathe.
Yes.
Me to breathe. All right, now working on it, we only have 45 seconds. Working on first the prosody and then adding the meaning. First pay attention to the mechanics. Louise Grassmere taught that. And then you can add meaning. And to try to do two at the same time, I gave you a good example of what not to be done, but this could be worked on.
It can. It's going to be worked on.
Thank you, Evelyn Koran. Thank you, Susan Allen.
Thank
we might
you.
even put this on YouTube anyway.
Thank you.
I think we're going to take a look at it. Blessings to Michael Mack.
Thank you, Michael.
God and
you.
Goddess be with you.